Are you just not in the mood? Not that kind of mood. A creative mood, a calm mood, a grateful mood, a chill mood. What if you could curate the kind of mood you want to be in? I'll show you how. Welcome to Creative Soul Life, episode 18, Curating Your Mood. I'm Charlotte DeMolay, your host, and welcome. So I know you've said those words, not necessarily in the innuendo context, but I'm not in the mood to create today. I am not in the mood to get this done. I just don't feel like doing that. And this is more than just an energy level. It's more about a frame of mind. I've got 3 ways, though, that can help you curate your mood, help you get into that vibe, get into that mindset of whatever you're wanting to be feeling and feel like maybe you should be or are hoping to feel. And believe it or not, this is a form of self-care. It is a form of acknowledging yourself and acknowledging your mood and feelings and helping you address where you want to be. So much of self-care and creativity is based on your mood. And especially during different parts of your life when you feel like your mood's just out of control. Maybe it's your hormones, maybe it's what life has got going on, but it all feels out of control. But you can't control some of it. You can help set the stage, invoke the feelings, and curate the mood that you want to be in. And this is a bit deeper than just breaking a creative block or snapping yourself out of it. This is almost about training your brain, training yourself to get in a mood or a feeling when you want to invoke it. So let's get started. So my first tool is a mood vision board. I'm sure you've heard all of those 3 words together and you're like, I've done vision boards. That doesn't help me with a mood. That's all about manifestation and dreams and goals. This is a little bit different. This is more focused than a vision board. This is about narrowing down and invoking a particular mood or feeling. And you'll do this by creating a small collage or assemblage, and it can be with your hands or even digital, and in the same kind of context that you would a vision board. So choose one emotion or feeling to focus on. Let's, for example, take calm and come up with all the types of images that make you calm. And this is going to look different for everyone. Rain makes someone calm, and it may make someone else anxious. The ocean may invoke feelings of calmness for me, but you might want images of the mountains. Whatever the images that you need, and this could even go beyond representational images like ocean or mountains or rain. This can be a feeling, a certain fabric, a certain color. This can be certain words. If you're going for calm, what are words that help invoke calm for you? Still, quiet, those type of things. So you're going to gather all of this together, the images, the colors, the words, and you're going to create a small board out of it. Now, when I'm doing this in my studio, I create kind of like inspiration boards. I do it on a 9x12 piece of foam core, and I just use a glue stick and glue things down. I've also done, vision board style, where you're gluing it on a poster board. I made one for myself for working out and physical activity, and I used words like strong. I had images of a strong female with nice toned muscles on her back. I had images of someone running, and I did it on just a piece of cardstock and laminated, and then I keep it with my workout equipment. I've also created these digitally in Canva and Procreate. And these these are my annual vision boards, and those go on my computer as my screensaver, or I use Trello. It's on the board cover, some of my Trello boards. So if you do it digitally, you can do it in different places where you'll see it. Like if you, for example, write on your computer, use it as your screensaver if you want to invoke, inspiration for writing. And that is the key here is however you make it accessible to yourself. You maybe want to take a journal and do this, and then you can flip to the mood that you want to, but you need to be able to access it when you're wanting to invoke that mood. So you create your mood vision board and then make it accessible to yourself. And if you do it digitally, this can also mean printing it out. So keep that in mind, creation, but accessibility. Now, the second idea for invoking a mood is music. And I have a monkey mind, not just when I'm meditating. I have monkey mind all day long. And a lot of us do. You got things racing around there as you're working on this. You're thinking of 3 or 4 other things you got to do later. Or even to set up this video, I was walking room to room and picking up things that need to go in the next room. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, I'm setting up to do a video. What helps tone down and calm and focus my monkey mind is music. I have always used music as a background for years. My husband's the same way. We rarely have the TV on, but we almost always have music playing. And right now we both work at home, and he'll have one list playing back in his office. I'll have a different list playing up here in my studio, or even have a little Google speaker out on my porch. I'll play music out there when I'm doing my gardening. And the really neat thing is that you can curate musical playlist if you use something like Spotify or Pandora, one of the music things, or if you have your own, music collection online, you can curate playlists to invoke a mood. I have one called Charlotte's Chill Mix on Spotify, and I play that at night when I go into the kitchen to cook. Because usually I've been going 90 miles an hour, and if I go into the kitchen that way, then I'm like this. I'm like multitasking, trying to do this, and I'm just kind of like, so the time I sit down and eat, my body's still just, it's not calm, it's not relaxed. And I don't want to go into my evening meal feeling that way. That's just a great recipe for indigestion. So I learned several years ago, I created a chill list on Spotify, and it's music I find relaxing. For me, that's John Mayer, Jack Johnson, some tunes like that that are kind of easy and mellow. And I play that while I'm making dinner each night. I'm sure at some point in your lifetime you've made a workout playlist because it was happy, upbeat, vibing, got you going, or maybe it had a certain tempo for running or something. This is that same context, again, but invoking a mood. If maybe your calm, chill list has rain sounds or ocean sounds or soothing classical music, as much as I like to have music playing all the time, I do find it hard to write with music. But again, I still need that kind of focus. So I've learned that's when I play music without lyrics on it. In particular, I like Celtic pan flute, harpsichord, that type of low, soothing music with no words so that I don't start singing along to it. And that's what I play when I want focus music. I'm writing or doing research, doing something on the computer while I'm having to really focus. I play that kind of music. So I really lean into music to help set my focus and my mood. And it can be a range of emotions. I lean on it very heavily for the chill and the calm, but you can go in the other direction and have upbeat, inspirational music, um, music that pumps you up, music that just makes you happy if you're feeling a little glum that day. You can curate a list to help guide you into any kind of emotion or mood. So, how do you get started? First, how do you listen to music? Are you listening on one of the Amazon Music or Spotify, or do you have your own library of music? If it's not digital, then you can do it the old fashioned way. However, you're listening, stack your CDs up. Most people are digital these days, so you can create playlists. All of these applications have ways to create playlists, or if you have a huge music collection digitally, you can sort them in different drives and things to create your playlist. So the same way as you did your vision board, decide the mood or emotion you want to invoke, browse through the music you listen to, and decide what matches that. Choose at least 7 to 10 songs so that you've got a good selection of a playlist. It can be longer. You can even make it time based. You can maybe have an hour's worth of music and however many songs it takes to fill that. And then the key is play it. If you're used to background TV or YouTube, try music instead. See if it helps. See if it invokes the mood you're going for, and see if it keeps that monkey mind in that state of mind as well. The third tool to put in your toolbox is a snapshot journal. Now, this doesn't have to be just literal photographs. The key to this journal is that you're not recording to-dos or activities. You're recording moods and feelings. So at the end of your day, or if you're like me, who my brain is toasted at the end of my day, I always do my journaling the next morning for the day before. So whenever you do your journaling, you think back and think about moods you had, feelings you had, the kind of deep, not just thoughts, but emotional reactions in your body. I know one day I was sitting on my porch and a rainstorm came up, and I was having my coffee, and I just felt so calm, felt so peaceful. I was well back from the rain. It was dry, but I still remember that feeling that that rainstorm evoked in me, that calmness, that serenity. So what I'm asking you to do is create a collection of these, create a journal of these. And again, you can do this physically or digitally, and record those feelings. Now, how do you do that? You can do that with a photograph. Maybe you see a butterfly going through your garden and you feel joyful. And if you're fast enough, you can snap a photo of that. And then, if you're creating a digital journal, then that's great. Or maybe you have a little printer to print that out and stick it in the journal. If you don't photograph it, you can sketch it or doodle it. It doesn't have to be a fancy piece of artwork, just a visual reminder of what it was and then the mood it evoked. And you can write that butterfly joy. Put some little lines for rain and a couple of splashy drops. Rain, calm. You just want that trigger to remind your brain to bring back that image and the feelings that it invoked. And if you want to get really fancy about it, you can do elaborate drawings or photographs. And instead of writing rain calm, you can write several sentences about it. I sat on my back porch. A sudden rainstorm came up. It was so peaceful and calm. It drowned out all the ambient noise. All I could hear was the patter of the rain. I felt like I was in a cocoon and safe. It can be rain calm or an elaborate or a poem, however you need to record the visceral feelings you had during that moment and matching that image to the feeling. And this is very key in this exercise of being able to bring forth emotions on demand, essentially. So each of these ideas alone can be very useful. The mood vision board, the playlist, and then the snapshot journaling. But used together, they are a powerful tool to help create the mood and set the mood that you want to be in. It is very powerful. So let's take an example. I want to feel inspired. That is probably the number one thing that I say. I'm not in the mood to work in my art studio. So I need inspiration. So if I start and create an inspiration mood vision board, and I think of the things that inspire me, I'll put in maybe some blocks of color. Maybe I'll put in some awesome lines. Lines inspire me. Maybe I'll put a painting from one of my favorite painters, or a sketch from Toulouse-Lautrec, or somebody that I love looking at their work. And I put these pieces together, and knowing me, I'd probably do it on something like Canva, and I'll print it out, I'll laminate it, I'm going to stick it in my studio. And so I get up in the morning, I'm like, I need to work in the studio today. I walk over, I look at my mood vision board. I look at each of those images. I'm like, yes, okay, I'm feeling inspired. So pick up my phone, open up Spotify. I look for my inspiration playlist that I've created. And it's upbeat music. It's not like dance music, but it's not the calm chill. It's that perfect happy mix. For me, that looks like Imagine Dragon or One Republic. That's music I like to create too. So I've got about an hour's worth of songs on there. So I hit play, get that going. And I'm feeling creative. It's feeling great, but I'm still kind of missing that edge. So I pick up my snapshot journal, and I was inspired 2 weeks ago, and I journaled it. And in that journal, I had some lines from a new marker I'd picked up, and I just loved how thick or thin it was. It just really made me inspired with what could I do with all these lines and all these ideas that popped in my head. So I recorded that in the snapshot journal. And so I opened that up and I'm like, yes, I remember that feeling. Yes, where are those markers? Let me get started. And you have used all these cues. You have used the desire manifestation. You have used the sound. You've used the memory. And all of these things work together and put you in this moment of inspiration. So you can see how each one individually can get you going and get you started, but all three together can really fire you up. So I challenge you to try these over the next month. Maybe try a different one each week, and then at the last week of the month, you put them all together and see how they work conjunctively. See if you can get 3 to 5 mood vision boards, 3 to 5 playlists, and then journal as you go along. And for those particular moods and feelings that you're trying to capture and invoke, what triggered that? What during your day triggered those moods and feelings? And capture it so you know you have that memory in your head, that as you're trying to invoke it, you have a memory of feeling that way. And see how it works. See how it helps you control how you're feeling. It helps you move from feeling to feeling and mood to mood. And see how it works. And I'd love to hear about your adventure with this. Let me know, and go be creative and feed your soul. Thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed it and you're able to use something from what you heard today. Again, I love to share, and you can find me on most social media outlets: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and also my website at dmla.com. I have a newsletter, Cultivating Creativity. I invite you to join that, and let's keep in touch.